So before we end our session, and since we've also stressed upon what Yugabar does and what it tries to achieve with regard to the translation as well, I'd like to pose this question to all of y'all. Feel free to just tell your views with regard to it. Well, we actually we there is a strong need for a unifying language in India because let's face it, when South Indian when people from the south move to the north, either in jobs or by studying, they really find it difficult to speak in Hindi, and same vice versa as well. So I don't think th- yes, of course, it's a very diverse country, like east, west, north, south. But that I think that there surely can be a mechanism for tackling this particular issue, and it need not be like through translation as well. If everyone is educated in the same manner, they're taught the same language, then the entire cost of translating the entire the act or so many other programs also will be cut short if everyone knows the language knows the language as well. So what are your thoughts with regard to I think even the government is also trying, and many agencies also are trying to not on the face impose Hindi, because I think Hindi is spoken by quite a huge amount of people as well. But then, but then don't you really feel that Hindi can be a unifying language? Because since we also held a poll in the meanwhile, and around 77% people were like, no, there cannot really be a unifying language. And those who have said that there can be a unifying language, some said Hindi, some said English, some said Hindustani, and all those things. So what are your thoughts with regard to it, with regard to this issue at hand?
A unifying language, I don't believe we can ever have it in India, because India is a very huge country. You move.
True.
Take. I'm from Karnataka, so I'll talk about Karnataka. You have a South Karnataka dialect, and you go towards the north. You have more of Marathi influence, Konkani influence, and your dialect changes over there. Yeah, exactly. The way Mysore Bangalore people speak Kannada is completely different from how Mangalore people speak Kannada. Right? So you can't, the Kannada itself, you can't ensure that people learn only one certain type of Kannada. So you can't have a unifying language as such. I mean, what we should be able to do is to train people. If say I suppose I move to Jharkhand or Bihar or somewhere, I'm trained in their local language. I'm trained in a language that most people are used to over there. And the people come to Karnataka, they're trained in Kannada. They're taught not Kannada, which many people know, at least spoken Kannada. So that it's not very difficult for them to talk to other people. And then you're not, if you come from North India and you come to Karnataka and you start talking in Hindi, people do feel like you're imposing your Hindi on us.
True.
Like, and then that's not really right. That's not a right thing, right? You go to a new place, you should mix with them in such a way that you're not a burden on them. You can't expect them to learn your language. It should be on you to learn their language and converse with them. So I've seen a couple of groups in Karnataka that are focused on teaching North Indians who come to Karnataka to study or work at least basics Kannada, so that we don't feel like we have to learn another language just so that they can come and speak to us.
I mean, I strongly agree with Vishak here. So let me draw a parallel to another instance, okay? So what happens is, if you want to secure a visa in any Schengen countries, for example, if you want to go live in Germany, you want to go live in France, you need to undergo extensive training in French or German or whichever language that is. Only after you pass that language test will you be allowed to even get a visa.
Yeah, I'm sure the German companies have made it compulsory to know German before you take a job over there.
Yeah, exactly. And in India, it's like, okay, fine. Of course, we have a diverse culture. Of course, there are different languages, different dialects, and there's, like Vishak said, there's no possible solution to get one particular language and make everyone acquainted with that language so it can be used as a common mean of communication. But what I believe is lacking is the respect for different languages.
True.
For example, let it. Yeah, go on, Smriti.
It's not just about the language as such, right? The language is just the byproduct of the thought. The thought is basically that the language is an expression of culture. It's an expression of your identity in extension. So you can't, imposition in some sense is imposing a culture on another, a dominant culture. So it's not just about the language and being able to speak that. It's just respect for other culture. And I completely agree with Minaj and Vishak that there can't be unifying language as such in India, especially not Hindi or English, because of various connotations that they do have. And I truly believe that more than actually trying to find out what that one language could be, it's easier to actually just try and include every language. That is my opinion of it.
Okay. So guys, exactly like three of you pointed out, I'm just gonna add into the same. But I understand it's like one part. So imagine if I'm imposing a language upon our nation, a country like India, diverse country like India, and what is gonna happen at the end of the day will be a superiority versus an inferiority fight. Because superior side will be comprising of people who are well versed in the language, and the inferior part will be comprised of the people who are not that well versed or who are unaware of the language.
Hey,
So-
hello. Tamil is more older than Sanskrit, so it's fine.
So
So
it's like it's getting weird. It will only get weird in the relations, the interstate relationships. Everything will only become worse than ever if we come up and try bringing up a unification. Either whatever the language may be, I think this will be the end product of this whole process, I guess.
see, like,
yeah, I agree with you.
like, see, when you go to, like, I would strongly say that you cannot force upon a language on someone. Like, example, I was also taught my second language was Hindi, and I really felt like, why should we learn all this, kal kare so aaj kare so ab, and on all that kabir ke dohe and all those and all those things. What is the point of learning all that? Because I think what we learn in school is not spoken language. It's more of reading and going to write the exam. But then I really understood the real importance of learning Hindi was because when you go to college as well, like, you have people from the north and from all parts of India also coming in. I don't think you can stay in a shell. I'm not saying that they can't come here and tell that, okay, you speak in Hindi, Hindi is national language, all of that nonsense. But then I still feel that you can gel with them more easily if you're able to speak in the language, and they feel more comfortable as well, instead of trying to impose that, okay, you're coming to Karnataka, you're speaking Kannada as well. So I think that's a more fairer point, right?
No, I don't agree with you completely. Of course, I mean, if you know Hindi, people coming from the north, you'll feel like conversing them. You can understand their conversation, their inside jokes and whatnot. But all we're trying to say here is that when you come here, as Smriti rightly pointed out, don't disrespect our culture and our way of life. Kannada is our language, and you should at least be receptive to it. And if no one's asking you to write a novel in Kannada and to have acumen of that level, because even we don't, to be honest. We just need basic Kannada to converse with people, and just like as I said earlier, just respect for a different culture and a different language, and that in many cases is lacking.
True. It's about an effort to learn a different language, right? To ensure
Exactly.
that, because you have to make you have to make people feel at home, right? If they're coming from outside of this one, they should feel like they are at home and they're not in some place where they don't feel very comfortable. And so, I mean, there should be an effort to learn both the languages. It's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can't
Yeah.
have people only learning your language when you can't disrespect them about their language and have them learn your language. It can't be a one-way thing. It should be both the ways. Like,
Rightly pointed out.
Yeah, agreed with that. I was just like thinking, like in the college setting itself, it's not really that we do speak Hindi or Kannada, say in Karnataka. It's mostly English itself. Like it's just those little, just that assumption that everyone knows Kannada or everyone knows Hindi, which excludes a bunch of people. So it's just being a little sensitive. I think it doesn't really have to be about learning the language or knowing the culture as such. It's just being a little more sensitive to the people who are around you. Does that make sense?
yeah,
It does, of course it does. Think about it. If we're having this debate today, someone coming from the northeast would feel like an alien here, right?
True. I mean,
We
if
should be
you
sensitive.
can't learn the entire language as such. It's just those few words that you can converse with them much more easily than because I know people who find it a little bit harder, like difficult to speak in English, and speaking to them in Kannada makes it a little more easier on them to converse with me. And the same way with for the Hindi people also. And it's just that those little words that makes a difference. Like, if someone comes and talks to me in Kannada, from someone from North India comes and talks to me in Kannada, I feel so proud that they've made an effort to learn my language. So that'll be on me, that I have to learn their language to ensure that they're not complete. They don't feel like an outsider in my home state, right? It's like that.
Because I think certain examples have set out a bad precedent. For example, I had been a witness to one of these incidents where I was just walking by, and this person from the north had come down, and they were arguing with an auto driver because the auto driver didn't know how to speak in Hindi. So when I saw that, obviously it would put that thought into your head, like, no, why is this person talking like this? Should be a little more respectful. Okay, fine, not everyone has to know Hindi, and that's where it all started out, right?
Yeah.
The dominance as such.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
See, I can just give you like a small example, like it just happened like just a few days back. I just wanted to exchange an item in. So okay, I shouldn't have named the service. All right, so yeah, so I just called the call center. Okay, so then and then when I call them, they're like, yes, sir, we'll point you towards a person who would handle this technical issue. Okay. So then this guy like, namaskar sir, so like, हाँ sir, आप हिंदी में बात करिए. Like no, मैं अंग्रेजी में बात करूँगा. So he's like, ना sir, हिंदी में बात करो sir. He's like, okay, so like, okay, I can't see, I can't be, I don't know if I can be mean to him by saying no, no, I won't speak in Hindi, I'll just speak in English and you just do whatever you want. So I feel that he comes from a place of ignorance. Maybe he comes from a place of ignorance that, okay, since everyone must be acquainted with Hindi, and also the fact that it's also been spoken about. And I think it's a pretty much a notion that, many people can speak the language. So I don't know if that comes from a place of ignorance. Like if people say, sir, you can't speak in Hindi or what. No, I'm not saying that there aren't people who come up full head up and say, hey, come on, you speak in Hindi because we are over here and all those things. I completely disagree with that. But if it's a matter of ignorance, and if it's a matter of proportion of population as well, if that can be an agreeable argument.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't force your language on anyone. I can't force Kannada onto someone if they don't want to. Like, I mean, ideally they should be able to learn a few words because they are here, but I can't force my language onto them, right? And that's how it was. And one more thing is that few of them give an option between English and Hindi, like this customer call centers and all. I feel they should, get it into many other languages for that at least majority of the people in the state do understand. Like they give Kannada, a Kannada option, a Telugu option, a Tamil option, a Odia option, and things like that. That will help a lot. I mean, you can't expect everyone to know Hindi or English.
Yeah, and I do agree with what Joel especially said, that you can't really blame the person and you can't be rude to them either and just be like, no, I speak in English, because from where they're coming from, it only makes, I mean, they're more comfortable in Hindi and it only makes sense for them to speak in that. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, so pretty much what.
But there's like like Joel, do you remember like our poll? Like we three had used the poll to, ask people about unifying a language for India. And the poll results we got, like obviously, there is no requirement for unifying a single language for India. It was the highest poll results we got. But I was curious to look into people who said that, okay, we need a unified language for India, apart from India being diverse and all. Like a good, and nearly 10 to 20% of people wanted this otherwise. So their argument was, if you can learn English, if you can learn English across the country, like without any objection, why don't you use Hindi in the same note, being an Indian language? So this was one question, or this was one part. Why don't you learn Hindi being an Indian language as such? This was the other side. So do you guys have any say on this particular side of the opinion that we received on this topic?
I kind of feel that kind of argument will go like either way, right? You can say, why can't you learn Kannada? Why can't you learn Tamil? It doesn't.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yes, Hindi is spoken by a lot of people, but that doesn't mean everyone knows it. And even English also, many. I mean, it might be. It's not like everyone across India is learning English. We are in a university which ensures that we have our education in English. But there are government schools, government colleges where English might not be the medium of education.
Exactly.
Yes. And like moreover, I mean, a good population also stated that English is being a global language. and for which even if you want to go outside India, no Indian languages can help us. Apart from English being a global language, is another part of the argument I got. So I mean, like a lot of people come up with these kind of different perceptions within them. When a topic like this, when a very heavily debatable topic like this is put forth, is what I guess even today is what I feel.
Yeah, but yeah. Just like going back to the question though, like even if you do say that English will be a unifying language, like Vishak said, English itself is a language of privilege. Like you can't. That's what like it just comes back to our main thing that we can't put any language on anyone because everyone comes from such different backgrounds, and though it's completely overused to say India is diverse, it is very very diverse, and you can't really don't think so.
Exactly.
But the communication gap.
Joel, I think it doesn't matter in communication here. See, right now all of us know English. We're talking in English. Let's say if today I wanted to go to some rural village in Karnataka and get an interview from let's say a village headman there. Would he know English? It's all about accepting and being sensitive and adapting to the environment that you're in.
The sense
It's
of
a good word to
inclusiveness,
use.
if I'm not wrong.
Being sensitive to other languages. That's a nice thing.
The inclusiveness, the accommodation, all these things matter, I guess. The tolerance above all, I guess.
So yeah, so that pretty much brings to the end of the podcast. So before we leave, a final words about your organization and an appeal, your Pepsi commercial, if you can state it, your appeal to the masses to join in your organization, and why should they believe in this cause and your stance on it.
I'm really bad at this. I'm just gonna say check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and our website soon. It's gonna come up. And yeah, just in general, like it's really important to look at environment, not just one important point. Not just environment is trees, lakes, and forests, but also environment is caste, class, economy, everything. So environment is a thing which encompasses all of this. So
words of wisdom.
Oh my god, no. So yeah, just keep yourself updated and in the loop about all of this, because like I think Minath said, we are the generation who is going to face the brunt of everything.
Very interesting that you point out the caste as well. Sorry. Like very interesting that you point out the caste as well. The caste, religion, and those aspects as well. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Joel, are you trying to make this podcast like 4 hours long or something?
Yeah. I'm for it. Yeah, go on.
We have to ensure that we leave a proper world to our next generation also. That's why you are working, to ensure that we don't destroy the world now itself.
Bro, I think our world is only destroyed. I don't know if there's.
I mean, you should leave something at least for the future generation. You can't. I mean, I get it. It's majorly destroyed now itself, but something at least should leave. You can't have our future generation looking at trees in the books and saying, "Oh, I saw a tree in that book," and all like that.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, to sum up, I think what Smriti and Vishak are doing is very, very good and very relevant at a time like this. So I urge all you listeners to support their cause and like and share their page, which will also be put in the description.
Thank you so much for this talk. It was really, really fun. Well hosted also.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you guys.
Thank you.
Yes.